weiß Bescheid.
Entiendo.
Welcome to all Caribbean entrepreneurs. If you've been ready and waiting to take your business digital and get paid online while you sip something strong on the beach, this podcast is for you. We'll hear from the Caribbean's finest entrepreneurs on topics like e-commerce, business development, brand building, social media, their wins and failures. This is the only place in the region helping you navigate the digital age from the Caribbean's perspective. This is Digipreneur FM. And now, let's give it up for the Digiboss himself, Mr. Karan Rose.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. I am so happy that you guys are here with me today, because you could be doing anything else in the world, but you have decided to take some time to tap in with your boy. And I mean, this episode is definitely a goodie. This episode is a live interview that we conducted with the Flow business director, Mr. Sam Naoshy. And for those that don't know, Flow Business is a new division from Flow and Cable and Wireless. And this division is all about focusing on the small to medium entrepreneur segment all across the Caribbean region. So their services go way further than just offering you your typical broadband speeds, landline. You know, when we hear about a telecommunications launching a business unit, it's typically that type of stuff. They're offering you the infrastructure, but what Flow Business is doing is they've crafted solutions, and they're going to be investing in the education of small to medium businesses all across the Caribbean region. So we had to get Sam down on the program and have a talk with him. And again, this was actually a live episode that we did on September 7th, Tuesday, September 7th, which you guys can see the actual video if you are interested. You could check that out on YouTube, on Karen Rose, the YouTube channel over there. It's on LinkedIn as well. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, you can watch the actual live video if you guys want the visual. But I know the podcast family, I know you guys love to press play on Digipreneur FM and then do some other things. Maybe you're in the office right now and I'm talking to you in your earpods or your headphones while you're doing some work, or maybe you're cooking, or maybe you're taking a nice long drive somewhere hopefully beautiful, and you guys want to listen to the Digipreneur FM podcast. And I mean, we definitely do our best to facilitate our audio-only family. So what we did was we took the audio from the live video, from the live interview, and we got it up for you guys here. So without further ado, let us dive into the episode with Mr. Sam Naoshy, the Flow Business Director, and we're going to be talking all about how Flow Business is helping Caribbean entrepreneurs all across the region. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? Listen, we are back again with another edition of the Digipreneur Live series. And you know, it's been so long. But, I mean, the podcast has been pumping, but I haven't done a live in a couple of weeks. So, you know, it's good to be back in front of the camera. I know you guys miss me just as much as I missed you. So, as usual, you know how I like to start things off. My name is Karen Rose. It is such a pleasure to be talking to you guys tonight. And tonight we have such a goodie of an episode, and I can't wait to dive into it. But first, to kick things off, please let me know in the comments where you guys and gals are tuning in from. I know the Caribbean is in the house today. So If you're tuning in from Trinidad and Tobago, let me know in the comments. If you're in Jamaica, I know you're on lockdown right now. You have to be tuning in to the program right now. Let me know if you're tuning in from Jamaica. Are you from Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada? Are you from the US? Are you in the UK? Are you from my hometown, the 416 Toronto? Please let me know in the comments. Where are you tuning in from? So, first comment of the night comes from the man, Jared Best Mitchell himself. What's going on, bro? We have Maurice Dormer from Jamaica. I know you're inside, locked in and tuned in. Where else are you going to be in Jamaica right now? Crumb Coated Fun says she's live from Trinidad. And yes, come on, let me know where you guys are tuning in from. That is beautiful. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking to the Flow Business Director. Now, Flow Business is a new division of Flow, and what they are bringing to the table is very different than what we are accustomed to. I thought it was really important to have this conversation. So we're going to be speaking to the Flow Business Director, Mr. Sam Naoshy, and we're going to have a lot of fun. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to have some fun. Sam has a vibe, and you guys know how I bring it. So without further ado, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Sam Naoshy.
What's going on? How you doing, Mr. Kieran Rose?
What is going on, bro? What is going on?
Not too much. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me. I don't know how I'm going to meet that energy of yours, but I'm going to try to keep it up for the next hour. But, all jokes aside, man, congrats on all the hard work that you've been putting in, the last couple of months. I started following you probably 6 months ago when we first, kind of hit each other up.
Yeah.
And your content, is truly amazing. Your vibe is refreshing. Everything you're putting out is great. Congrats on the new podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we have a mutual friend that says, Kieran is the Joe Rogan of the Caribbean. So I think, well, congrats and thanks for having me, man. I'm happy to be here.
Nah, man. Listen, since we've connected, I think we have spoken. 2 or 3 days don't pass without us connecting. And what has been really refreshing is just the focus on trying to grow the entire region. And I think it's such exciting times right now to be in the Caribbean. I moved here at the end of 2013, and I don't think I have been this excited since I moved here, with all of the things that are coming out from the technologies, the companies that are investing, the solutions that are coming out to build the entire region. I tell all my friends back in Toronto, and we're gonna dive into, because I know you got some 416 roots too.
That's true.
So
actually, the first time we hit it off, I cold called you, right? Somebody shared your LinkedIn, and I said, this guy has an accent or something, right? So
right.
I just kind of cold called him. We started talking, and then I was like, man, you sound like you're Canadian. I don't know what you're doing in the Caribbean, but so I actually lived in Toronto for 10 years. So I kind of picked up on that vibe, and I said, wow. So we had that one connection, which is cool.
Nah, it's dope, man. And since I moved back, I've met, funny enough, when I moved here, I had about 10 of my friends from Toronto move to Trinidad around the same time that I moved here. So when I came, Toronto was in the house heavy. It's been, and I've just been seeing more Canadians move to Trinidad than ever before. So it's been really refreshing. It's been good,
Why wouldn't you, man? Going from white snow to white sand. Come on, it's a no-brainer.
Exactly. If I don't see snow again, I'm happy. If I don't see snow again.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
and I know you living up in Miami too.
Exactly. That was, I made that trade-off 10 years ago. I don't look back, but, I spent 10 years in Toronto, and Toronto is a great place as well. Very international. actually that's where, I actually started to get a lot of the Caribbean vibes way before I started, kind of working at Cable and Wireless or Flow Business.
Right.
I moved to Toronto. I was like 15, and my
Right.
school, there was probably 20 people from the Caribbean. The first day, I remember getting out on the soccer field, football pitch, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of Jamaicans playing soccer, and it was my first time moving to North America,
Right.
and they were kind of speaking back and forth. I had no idea what they were saying, but
Right.
give me like 3 months, now I'm fluent and I can understand.
Well, it's gonna serve you because I know you spend a lot of time working with the Jamaican community with Flow Business now. So let us dive into tonight's topic, and this is a really important one because tonight's topic for you guys that are now jumping in. Tonight's topic is how Flow Business is helping the Caribbean SME community. And right now, with the pandemic, and even before the pandemic, just with respects to digitization, helping people become more digital savvy so that they can start to utilize a lot of the services and things coming out. We need help from all angles, and I think the approach that Flow Business has come out with, I think can fill in some key gaps for our market. So Sam, let's dive right into it, right? Now,
Absolutely.
let's kick things off. Like first and foremost, and I know we kind of touched on, you being in Toronto, you having some fun with the footballers, and you realizing that a bunch of them are from the Caribbean. But what does the Caribbean mean to you? Why is this such why does this tug at the heart for you? Why is this so important to you? What does the Caribbean mean to you?
I mean, I think the Caribbean is one of the most beautiful places in the world. You're talking about so many countries, all very unique, all very beautiful, different cultures within them. And I think there's great opportunity here. You have a lot of the mentality of people, right? It's this hustle on mentality. It's the hunger to start things and do things, and this entrepreneurial mindset, which is really what drove us at Flow Business to kind of think of things very differently, right? So I think there's a lot of opportunities in the Caribbean. I think the unfortunate pandemic has just opened our minds and really put a fire under us to really move faster. So I think the Caribbean is a special place for me. I have a lot of close friends, growing up from all the different islands. I've had, the opportunity to travel to all of them. All of them are beautiful in their own way. They're all unique, and the people are beautiful. And, I'm just excited to be a part of this journey. And I see there being so much opportunity, especially compared to other markets that are a bit, more advanced on the digital front. This provides a lot more opportunity, and I'm just really excited to be part of it. So that's really what it means for me, Kieran.
Nah, that and you touched on some key things. Like I think, you know, if you have lived the majority of your life in the Caribbean, a lot of people see problems, but not necessarily the solutions. One of the beautiful things as to spending some good time in the U.S. and Canadian markets that are a bit a little ahead. When you look at the Caribbean, now you don't really see the problems. You see things, but you have solutions. Like every time you see a problem, you're like, oh wow, there are things that we could do right here, right now to solve some key things because some of the issues that we have are already solved in other markets. And when you have that experience of working in other markets, when you look at the Caribbean, you just see those solutions. So I definitely agree with you. This is an amazing time to be in the Caribbean. And again, I'm just glad that the technology is here to help with a lot of the challenges that we are facing. All right. So, what is Flow Business? Flow Business is new. 2 years ago, we've heard about cable and wireless from a business perspective, but Flow Business has, they're the new guy on the scene. So, walk us through who and what is Flow Business?
Yeah, so just like you said, I mean, people know cable and wireless, cable and wireless business, and people know Flow on the consumer side. So as we started to think about, opportunities in the market, and where the biggest opportunities were. Seeing a lot more entrepreneurs coming up, seeing a lot more small businesses. Small businesses are 80 to 90% of all businesses in the Caribbean, right?
Right.
And we didn't feel that we had the right focus. Quite frankly, a lot of telcos don't have the right focus on the small business, segment, right? They're kind of a lost segment between, consumer or the enterprise. They weren't ever given the right focus that they need.
Right.
So we saw that opportunity, and once COVID hit, we saw how bad they suffered, right? Out
Right.
of everybody, they got hit the worst.
Right.
So really, Flow Business is really trying to fill that gap and really take care of a segment that represents 80 to 90% of all businesses in the region. And
Right.
think about it. We interact with small businesses every single
Every
day.
day.
This is why it's so important to me. Think about your daily routine. Pre-COVID, for example, is probably more relevant, but even after, you wake up and you grab a coffee. Who are you grabbing a coffee from?
Right.
You're dropping your clothes off at the laundry. Somebody's helping you with your accounting and your tax. So everywhere you go, everybody interacts with small businesses on a daily basis. So it's a very relevant segment that was, quite frankly, being ignored, and not just by us, by most telcos, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we saw that opportunity, and we took a step back during the pandemic and said, okay, you know what? How can we fill this gap?
Right.
Like what do we need to do to really win this segment over? So more than just the brand, because that's just an extension of who we are.
Yeah.
It's really like, what are we trying to accomplish, and
Right.
what are we trying to do by serving small businesses, right?
Right.
So there's really kind of three areas that we wanted to really touch upon, right? That
Talk
really
to us.
addresses. Yeah, I mean, it's always rules of three, right? But like number one, which I don't want to ignore, is focusing on the core products that a telco offers, right? I mean, you rely on us for connectivity. You rely
Right.
on us for your internet. You need to be connected no matter where you are, especially post-pandemic, right?
Right.
So whether you continued working in the office or you work from home or you're working from a coffee shop or wherever you work from, you need to be connected.
Right.
And that means, cross products. So whether it's, you have your mobile with your broadband and everything kind of gets together. One of
Right.
our promises is always connected, right?
Right.
And then, on that point, it's always on, right? So if you think about a small business, you can't lose connectivity, right? You always have to be connected.
You
That
can't.
you can't, right? That means lost money. If a
Correct.
customer's in your place and they're trying to pay and your connectivity's out, hey, you're not a happy camper, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the key elements, right, of Flow Business. The second one, which I think is just as important, is what we're calling the business class service, right? So in the past, businesses don't get treated like a business. They get categorized, with, let's say, consumers, or there's that lack of gap of what business class means for a small business. So if something
Right.
happens, you need to talk to somebody. You need to be able to get a hold of somebody quick. You need to know what's going on. If there's an issue, when is it going to get fixed? Who's going to come out? You need that comfort. You need that ability to get served. So that's the second pillar, I would say.
Right.
And then the third one is, I think where we're going to focus a lot of this conversation is we need to go above and beyond, right? We can't rely on just providing, connectivity and mobile. I mean, you expect that from us. But we want to go above. And what my promise is and what we're focusing Flow Business on is we want to be the partner. We want to be the ally to help small businesses, take their business online.
Right.
And that's really, the three areas that represents Flow Business. So,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to do, but, we know what we need to do.
Yeah, and as you said, there is a lot to do. So just for the people tuning in, right? Again, we all of our competitors, all the competing telecommunications companies out here, they have a business division. But what are some of the key things that separate Flow Business from the rest of the market? Because the solutions that you guys offer are really and truly tailored to small to medium businesses. But how do you guys differ from the competition outside of just providing, some of the services like internet, landline, home phone? What are some of the things that you guys do differently?
Yeah, I think it's kind of two things. Like one is, like I said, the business class care, right? a business needs to be treated like a business. So that's one thing that we're doing. More specifically, we're setting up like a contact center that's dedicated for small businesses, right?
Right.
So when something happens, you call and we'll answer quick and we'll be
Right.
able to solve your solutions quick. The second thing is really introducing what we're calling these like value added services or smart solutions, everything that will allow you to take your business online.
Right.
And that can mean a whole lot of things, right? Depending on the industry that you're in. So, going from a traditional brick and mortar, kind of a face to face business towards an online business, I think is really where we're differentiated. And that's really
Mm.
where we're doubling down. And you know all about that. I don't need to
Yeah.
tell you about that. But that's really where we're doubling down, right? So
Right.
having a website, having an online store that customers can find out about you, buy services, interact with you. You, if you're a professional services business, having the right tools to allow you to work with your team, collaborate with your team. Thinking about digital marketing. I mean, you've been having a lot of sessions over the last couple of weeks, that you kind of share with people, hey, these are the tools that are available to you. This is how you use them. So we're really trying to get into that space and we're really going, doubling down there. And that's really where the focus
And
is.
that's a great space to be in right now. And that kind of segues into my next question for you. Flow Business, you guys are in a wide variety of markets, and you can touch on some of the markets that you guys are in right now. But what are some of the gaps that you are seeing across the markets as you begin to survey and interact with businesses in different countries across the Caribbean? What are some of those gaps and challenges that you guys are seeing?
Yeah, I mean, goes without saying that COVID really really flipped the world on its head, right? And more specifically, for small businesses. And if you think about the digital acceleration that COVID caused, from in the few months right after it started, it pretty much in most markets like really accelerated that digital acceleration by 7 years, right?
Right.
So when you look at like the U.S. and Europe and other markets like that, businesses quickly adapted, right? They
Right.
realized, okay, things changed. We need to do something.
Right.
And I think from a Caribbean perspective, where I see some gaps and more importantly areas of opportunity is when you look at the key industries. A lot of our markets depend on tourism, right?
Right.
I think that's an area that they're dependent on, and obviously it got hit super hard. I think the lockdowns as well in the Caribbean have been a bit more, a lot more strict, right,
Yeah.
than here. I'm speaking with all my colleagues and my friends, and including you. I mean, you guys have been in lockdown. Sometimes you go into lockdown for months,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's a big gap, obviously, that really makes it hard to adapt. I think the comfort zone of adapting the business to a digital world is a bit of a
Mm.
challenge, right, for small businesses, and it's just a mindset. I think it's really the behavior to try new tools or to change the way of doing things,
Right.
right? I think those are kind of some key gaps that we're looking to kind of help small businesses overcome, right?
Yeah, and you see the mindset to approaching something that people don't understand, especially something that we know changes every other day. So you have some folks that are like, you know what? All right, let me see what this digital thing is all about. Let me sign up for a Facebook business page, and let's start with that. And then you realize that Facebook isn't just a walk in the park. It is actually a pretty robust platform to learn from a marketing perspective. So there's
Oh
a
yeah.
slow uptick with learning the features and how to thrive on Facebook. Then you have businesses jumping on Instagram because they hear Instagram is the main thing where all the people are. But then we jump on Instagram and we're just promoting. We're just throwing ads that we would throw on the radio or throw on TV and throwing up on Instagram and then wondering why it doesn't work. So we know that getting people digitally savvy is a major area. what are some of the things that you guys are doing right now to kind of work on, getting people sensitized to thinking digital, understanding some of the strategies, and looking at the different platforms? What are some of the things that you guys are doing to help them?
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it on the head, right? It's just like having at your disposal, you have a lot of tools, right? Some free tools, some other paid tools, and you can have the best tools in the world. And think about a car, right? You can have the best Ferrari, but if you are not committed to learning how to drive it, and you're not committed to learning how all the functionality works, you're not going to get the most use out of it, right?
Correct.
And that's something that I think people fail to understand, especially when it's very early in the game and they're just saying, okay, well, there's all these tools out there, and even other providers and vendors, promise the world, right? It's
Right.
like, oh, just get a website and then all your problems will be solved, or
Just get a website. Just get
yeah,
it.
just get a website. Don't worry about it, and go digital, right?
Right.
Make those statements, and then they go digital and they're not equipped, or they're not in the right mindset, or they're not committed to making it successful, right? So that's where I see a big challenge. So there's a couple of challenges, right? First is being open to trying the new tools and actually
Right.
going out of your way to get them and actually explore them.
Right.
The second major challenge is really just learning how to use them and adapting your world to them, right?
Right.
And without doing that, you're never going to get the most out of it, right?
Right.
I think you're asking, what are we doing really to kind of help with that? We've introduced some new solutions. We've called them smart solutions,
Right.
right? We have some very interesting products, which, I'll go into a bit more detail on, but just, at a high level, it's, we're committed to really taking businesses online. How are we doing that? We have a website, an online store product. So, we will build, design, create, buy your domain, host it, your website, and
That's
create it
big.
within 5 business days,
That's
right?
big.
Which is big. It's huge. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to do anything other than give us, fill out some basic information, and we'll create a first version.
Right.
There's also, the ability to customize it the way you want. If you're tech savvy, you can do it yourself. It's a pretty easy website builder.
Right.
But again, that's only half the battle, right?
Right.
You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, because once you get that first version, really, kind of embedding that into your business, learning how to use it, learning how to evolve it, understanding what's working, what's not, how the content is structured, we can only do so much, right?
Correct.
The other solutions are focused more on like digital marketing, right? So there are tools that allow you to create email campaigns, right? I'm sure all of you guys get emails from, businesses you subscribe to with their latest promotions, products, so on and so forth. Sometimes it feels like spam, but, I think that's another product that we're helping create. And we're trying to do it in a simple way. And we have, coaches to guide along the way.
Yeah.
And then there's the other solutions, which are more, transactional. So like having a cloud storage where you can store your files digitally, move away from more of the physical. And then what we're doing is we are getting into the whole education space, right? Because like I said, you can have the best tools, we can do it for you, we can create your website, but that's not enough. And we realized that very early on. Build and they will come is, I don't believe in that.
It
So
doesn't exist.
no, it doesn't exist anywhere, right?
Correct. Correct.
So we're doing things around, kind of hosting sessions, and we're evolving too. We're a young brand, right?
Right.
We're trying to really connect with the people on the ground. We want to be kind of side by side, hand holding in the different aspects. It's not going to happen overnight,
Yeah.
right? And that's one thing we need to be very clear on. It's not going to just kind of happen.
Yeah.
But we're going to do different sessions. We have some webinar sessions where we'll bring speakers like yourself and others that can really help educate and do it in a very simple way. Like one thing I
Yeah.
love about your content is you just watch it and it's simple and it's hands-on and it's output driven. And after your like 1 hour session, it's like, okay, I know the 1, 2, 3 things that I need to do
Yeah.
to overcome that. And it's very, customer friendly, which is great. So
Yeah.
we're trying to do sessions like that, workshops. We're creating content, right? Video content, tutorials, training videos, so on and so forth. Um,
Perfect.
and then, I think partnerships is key,
Right.
right? We have this perception, where, and I think it's across all telcos, where, people don't necessarily trust or look to their telcos to play in this space, right? So there's a natural hesitation to say, oh, you know what? Like, you're going to do this for me?
Can't even get my credit right. You're going to help me build a business?
Exactly. So, we need to partner with the right people and make sure we're on the ground and we're connecting from different angles. And right now, what we're doing is, across all of our markets, we have really great friendly promotions
Right.
that get you in the door,
Right.
right? Because we know it's like overwhelming and you're dealing with a lot of stuff and it's a bit frightening to say, oh, you know what, you want me to spend something and you want me to do all this different stuff. I'm trying to survive here, right?
Right.
So what we're trying to do is make it a no-brainer for you, make it easy for you. We'll help you, we'll prove to you that we can help you, and then we'll talk after, right?
Right, right. Now you said listen, there was a couple of key things that you said there, right? But before we dive into that, again, if you guys in the chat, let me know that you guys are here. Let me know that you guys are enjoying the conversation so far. If there are questions, you guys can start to throw those questions out, and I'm gonna have them. I'm gonna have your questions saved so that we can refer to them during the Q&A session. Sam, one of the things that you kind of brought up was you can't bring a horse. You could bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? So with the launch of some of the services you guys have you seen situations where you guys have built out, these amazing websites? Essentially, you guys have handed people the keys to that beautiful Ferrari, and they just refuse to jump in and drive. Have you seen situations like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still a bit early, right? So, it's hard to really like measure the success because it takes a bit of time, right?
Right.
There are obviously a lot of instances where we've built, a website that is great. It has the right content. It has a store, and they just don't engage with the website, or they don't actually focus on understanding, hey, do I have the right keywords? Do I have the right content? And it goes beyond that too. And it's something that you talk about a lot in your podcast is the payments, right? We know that's a big challenge for the Caribbean. And like I said earlier, we want to be part of that journey.
Right.
We're not going to be able to solve everything. And that's why I think, you need to think big as a small business. Don't like have that, tunnel vision, but really think big and start small, right? You don't have to get everything right, right away. And that's
Right.
something that, I think is my big advice. And when I speak to some of our customers, where they may expect results the day after, and it doesn't work that way, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
I think thinking big and just starting small. And if starting small means, hey, you know what? I'm going to get a website. I'm going to have an online presence, right? I can direct people there. At least they know what my business is, what we offer. They can look and see what we stand for, what our brand is. Hey, that might be the first step. And
Right.
then eventually you get into the, e-commerce and selling products and being able to deliver products. It might be overwhelming, but I think it's key just to always, think big and
Right.
think beyond what you're doing today, but start small, right? And I think that's key.
No, that definitely is. And before we move on to diving into the services and kind of showcasing the people what these services are in a bit more detail, another thing that you touched on really big was the perception of telecommunications companies. And this is not a Caribbean thing. This is a global thing. I mean, you and I both have one of the first things that we shared mutually that we hate was Rogers. So we have this distrust with telecommunications companies, right? So now that you guys are moving a step beyond just providing, services, internet, TV, landline, whatever, now that you guys are actually becoming an ally and helping small, medium-sized businesses build their business and grow with these solutions, how do you go about changing that perception, right? How do you go about, saying, hey, we know that we had challenges over here, but flow business is going to be different. How do you guys go about changing that perception?
That's a good one. We started a whole new brand. No, I'm I'm kidding. I think it's natural, right? I mean, I look at myself, I look at other people. I think it's, really you got to start with fixing the basics, right? And
Right.
I think that's, I talked about it earlier with like our three promises and what we stand for as a brand. But before we can start talking about digital solutions and smart solutions and taking your business online and doing all this great stuff, it's really about fixing the basics, right? And in some elements, it's really regaining that trust and doing the things that we do better, right?
Right.
And proving that. And we're committed on doing that in the next, in the coming months. We started doing it across the markets, and that's really focusing on investing in our broadband network, making sure that we can provide the right broadband speeds for the business, making it very clear, what do you need as a business? Like, what's the right speed for your business? And right sizing and
Right.
making sure that you have the right speeds that fit for you. And it's starting there. And I think it's also providing that care. We know that customer service and customer experience is a key point for any business. I mean, one of the main reasons why I actually joined Cable and Wireless is because of our CEO. So there was a new CEO that started about 3-4 years ago now, who really was very inspiring and very motivating, and actually was the main reason why I jumped from consulting to telco, was because she was taking a very customer centric approach
Right.
to approaching our business, and also a people centric approach,
Right.
right? So we're very people driven. So one of that elements is really focusing on the customer
Right.
and really fixing the basics, right? So one is the basic connectivity products need to be right. They need to be priced right. The second is we need to be able to take care of our customers. So if something happens, you're a business, you can't be offline. So providing that business class care. And I think that's one way we start to gain the trust.
Yeah.
And then last, it's like what we've been talking about is, hey, we need to go above and beyond that. And I think that's where we're disrupting the market. And that's where, it's going to take a little while, but I'm really hoping that through our training sessions, through our partnerships, we have the products already. I'm comfortable. We have great products. They're easy. They're plug and play. They're affordable. Now it's really hand holding them and walking them through that process, right? So there's another key influencer in the market that I've connected with recently, Kadian, the CEO of Carib Shopper, and
Ah.
and we've had some conversations lately because he's doing amazing stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
his marketplace, his platform, allowing Caribbean businesses at a time like COVID,
Yeah.
right, to take and sell their products to the US, UK, and Canada. I mean, man, you need to
Needed.
export some of the great products that you guys have in the Caribbean to the rest of the world. And what he's doing is amazing. But one thing that resonated with me was, you need to connect with them and handhold, customers and handhold the businesses early in the game. They need to know that you're there by their side. And I think that's one way that we want to definitely overcome that,
Yeah.
the
And then
mistrust that we may have.
that's that. And you see, and what Kadian said is huge because look at it like this, right? You're in the U.S. I'm from Canada. One of the biggest reasons why our nations, those two countries, are so digitally savvy is we have so many outlets to go to learn about technology. When I used to work at Apple, man, we had classes, we had workshops inside the stores. Any Apple store in the world you go to, they're teaching you all about not just their products, but things outside of their core products. So like you could go into Apple stores and learn how to do photography, whether it's smartphone photography, DSLR photography. You can learn how to create apps. You can learn how to build games. They do a wide variety of things, right? And we used to have elderly people coming in because they're retired and they have the time. They're coming in to learn. They're bringing their iMacs. We used to have to go and grab people's iMacs from their trunks and wheel them into the stores for them to participate in the sessions. We would teach people online banking all in the store in Apple. So we have so many outlets to go and learn how to utilize day-to-day technology. And I think we're gonna be diving into the services now. But what you guys are doing, I think, is now you guys are starting to get into the Apple mindset where you're putting out the information about the technology, but once you can start to teach people how to utilize the different products and services, yes, we're gonna use Flow services because I mean you're an internet provider, so you're an essential service. But learning how to, you guys are building websites, but when we learn how to, utilize a website within our business to do e-commerce, to drive sales and drive leads to our websites and our business, these things are critical. And the fact that you guys are now playing in that space is huge, because in the Caribbean, there is no place that you can go to learn how to utilize any of these products and services.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that. I'm not going to, leak everything, but there's a lot more of that coming this year. We're getting into this space. We want to really get people out of their shells and really just, make it very hands-on, right? I think that's the mentality that we have is when we do these sessions, one thing that kind of hits me, especially like being in a remote environment, is, people are bored and tired of big group webinars, right? I mean,
I don't even watch them.
Like sitting in front of your computer while there's, one person talking and you're just there like listening, people are tired of that. We're taking a very hands-on approach. And, I think and you do that really well, right? I mean, you have these sessions where, I was kind of watching even on Instagram where it's very clear what you need to do to get where you need to go, right?
Yeah.
And, I think thinking about, the US and all of that, I mean, and also the Caribbean, but there are so many tools at our disposal, right? Depending on what you want to do. And sometimes you just need to just do a little bit of research, reach out, but there are so many things that you can use to help you do what you need to do. Whether you want to do some like graphic design, you don't need to go and be an expert in Photoshop. I mean, there are, like freelance websites where you can pay, $5, Fiverr, for example, is one where,
Love it.
You don't need to be an expert. Outsource, right? Focus on what you do and let others help you get to where you need to go. But it goes way beyond that, right? It's digital marketing solutions. There's communication tools. There's marketplaces. There's, there are so many tools that you need to take advantage of. You need to do it.
There's a lot, and I think the biggest challenge is asking a region that has never had to be digital, because just how the communities are built, everything is in person. When you come to the Caribbean, you really feel that Caribbean warmth. Everything is all about that in-person experience, right? They've never needed to be digital ever, but now the pandemic has hit, and they're now forced to be digital. Otherwise, you can't even be in business, because between the lockdowns of all the countries and now, vaccine safe zones, the only way to be able to serve people who are not vaccinated is you gotta be digital and figure out how to get your product and service to them. So a lot has happened. A lot is happening at light speed to a region that has never needed to change. And because there are so many different products and services available to us, again, and the critical thing that we're missing is not having that space to come in and learn. Right now, people are just fending for themselves in the wilderness, right? But Nikisha, I just seen a comment come in from Nikisha, and this is a perfect example where she says, I missed a live training at Apple because she took a full iPhone photography class and then went around the city taking photos. These are things that don't happen anywhere in the Caribbean. And this is where the biggest upside is for the entire region. So totally. Sam, let's dive into some of the services. So first and foremost, we have a couple of videos to kind of break through. So let's dive into the website service that you guys offer. So I'm gonna run the website video and then let's dive into it right after. You ready, Sam?
Perfect, ready. Man.
All right, perfect.
Flow Business with fast and reliable business connectivity. Plus our new smart solutions, we're ready to keep your business thriving and growing. It's been a tough year, but we're here to help you come back stronger and more connected than ever before. Meet Peter. He owns Island Cafe, a local coffee shop. Modern cafes and restaurants in the area have adapted to the new normal by using digital channels to promote their business. But Peter's coffee shop is struggling. He wishes he had a way to showcase his business online and find new customers. But he doesn't know where to start, and running his coffee shop is a full-time job. Flow Business has Peter covered. With our website and online store smart solution, Peter's able to showcase his business online and reach a whole new audience. We take care of the website design and development so he can take care of business. With professionally designed templates plus the ability to easily drag and drop images and videos, we'll show his business at its best. He can integrate his social media profiles plus maps functionality so everyone knows how to get to his cafe for their morning espresso. That's not all. Once Peter's Cafe is set up with a website, we can add an online store so that his customers can save time and order their coffee ahead of visiting, making their payment quickly and securely with more than 30 payment methods already integrated into his site, including PayPal. Flow Business is with Peter every step of the way. If he needs support with his website, our digital experts are standing by and ready to help 24 hours a day. After a few months of having his website and online store up and running, Peter's seeing more customers than ever. People from all over town and even further afield visit his coffee shop after finding him online. If you're ready to level up your business and get online with our smart solutions, Flow Business is here to help. Showcase your business to hundreds of potential new customers with super fast connectivity and a website and online store from Flow Business.
Perfect. And I think that kind of hit some of the things that we have been talking about. So Sam, kind of break down, how does the website solution work with Flow Business? How do we get started?
Yeah, it's actually very simple, right? It's once you're a customer and you have some of our core products like broadband, you get access to what we're calling these like smart solutions. And the benefit about those is, they're very affordable, right? So if you try to compare with what's available in the market, a lot of them are either do it yourself and they're more expensive, or you need to kind of get somebody to do it for you and they're actually a lot more expensive. So the great thing about this is it's turnkey, it's very affordable. We're committed to doing it for you and doing it with you. So you always have the ability to, customize it and tailor your website the way you want. But, if you're busy, we know you're busy, we'll help you get started. We'll get you that first version within 5 days where you can continue to iterate on. And like I said, quick turnaround, under 5 days. It gets you online super quickly. We're hand holding through the process. And then, I think the payments is another one that we're going to continue to evolve on. And we know that we need to continuously integrate options, right, that are fit for small businesses. And that's something that you need to be patient with us as we continue to integrate others like WePay, which is a great product and solution for that, partnering with NCB and First Atlantic. So, that's something we're evolving on. But, just like you guys, we're also evolving. So we're going through the process with you, right?
Yeah, and that's really good to hear because, when you look at a company like WePay has been around, are they even 5 years old? I think therefore maybe this is their fifth year in business. So it's not even to say, they've been around for a long time. I know NCB recently just announced, no, not NCB, Sagicor just recently announced their integration into platforms like WordPress. So in the Caribbean, the companies and service providers are now starting to get a lot of these integrations in place for us to be able to do business online and to do e-commerce even better. And the fact that, again, you have Flow Business that is building the platform for you. I can't wait to hear that, that's going to be a big announcement when Flow Business, WePay come together, First Atlantic come together, and all those things integrate. So that way there is no issues with respect to getting paid online and getting paid from international customers right now, because that has typically been one of the biggest challenges where people get websites built or they build on platforms that are not necessarily working with any of our payment gateways in the Caribbean. And then when it comes to getting paid, they can't get their money.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a business if you can't get your dollars
Of
and
course.
cents.
Exactly.
Right.
It doesn't make dollars. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So, walk us through the process. How easy is it to get a website done with Flow Business?
It's as easy as, once you buy the solution, within a couple days, we'll reach out to you. If you don't reach out on your own, you'll get an email link that has, a link where you can go and start the process. If you want to do it yourself, the website builder is there. You can just click 2 or 3 clicks and you can start to do it yourself if you're comfortable. If not, there's a live chat you can use on that portal. You can call us or email us, and you submit a form, a simple form, which is, what your business does, the name, anything that you want to include in your website. We'll take the information you give us in that simple form. It takes probably about 15 minutes for you to complete that form, but it's your business. We can't do everything, right?
Right.
You still need to show us photos and tell us what you do and tell us what you want to highlight. But if it's as easy as a form, submit it. Within 5 days, you'll have the first version ready for you to review. If you're happy, boom, you're online, ready to go. If not, you can continue to iterate. And we have, again, a chat, email, phone, and we can make that happen very quickly, right? And that's how quick it is. So within 5 days, if not faster, you got your website, you got it online, you're ready to go.
That's perfect. Do you, unless this is top secret stuff, but, is there an ETA, is there an idea as to when people could expect things like WePay integrated and First Atlantic integrated? Because I know you guys are having the conversations, but is there an ETA as to when we're going to get those things online?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the final, kind of process of really integrating some of those solutions. So, I would think within this year, we're going to make it happen. So that's, we're full force there. We know how important it is. So it's top of mind right now. And on top of that, I forgot to mention is at any point in time, once your website is up, it's not about just putting something up and then saying, hey, peace out. You can actually reach out to the support and say, hey, you know what? I want to add a new product. You know what? I want to change my logo. Or you know what? I just got a photo shoot done of my store. Update the photos, right? So it's that constant, always by your side thing.
And this is 24/7. This is a support that's 24/7.
It's 24/7.
Oh man, I'm
which is
calling
huge.
that.
Think about it, right? Think about
it. Of course.
Yeah. So
of course, because business people during the day are busy doing business, right? So one of the biggest challenges in the Caribbean, I think this is probably one of the challenges that I had to adapt when I moved from Canada was imagine all of your essential services work the same time as you, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And you always have to call in sick in order to do something. So the fact that it's 24/7, again, huge because business people are working during the daytime. If they're building their business, it's usually either early morning, late night, or some people overnight, right? Well, beautiful segue into another solution that you guys are offering. And I think, is this the digital concierge? Do we have that? Do we have digital concierge video?
We should. If not, we have like a YouTube page, which I'll ask people to kind of check out. We're posting a lot of our videos about the products, tutorials, and it's going to continue to grow. That highlights it. I don't know if you have it.
I think we got it. Let's run this, because if this is the digital concierge, then this is another key service I want people to know about, because typically anytime we have any product or service, it doesn't matter what it is. When you're in the US, Canada, or the UK and you're calling, we have a toll-free number. But in the Caribbean, almost every company we call for service, we get charged to make those calls. So we don't have none of these companies are local for us to call, right? So let's see if this is the right video. Let's play it.
With Flow Business, you get more than reliable business connectivity. We give you the smart solutions you need to reinvent your business and thrive, so you can come back stronger and more connected than ever before. We know running a business is more than a full-time job. With our new 24/7 digital help desk, we're standing by to solve any technical issue you may encounter in getting the job done. And we're by your side, helping to promote your business to a new audience online. Meet Damien, an up-and-coming chef whose restaurant is well known locally for its great food and ambiance. Damien just purchased a new smart TV to keep his customers entertained. But he doesn't know how to set it up, and he's already spent a few hours away from the business trying to figure it out. Damien needs his screens up and running for the reopening of his restaurant, but the technology is making him frustrated. He's tried everything and has no one to call for help, and he doesn't have the time to spend fixing complex technical issues. He has a business to run. Luckily, Damien is a customer of Flow Business, and he's recently purchased the new digital help desk solution. That means he has 24/7 support from experts who can help him solve the technical or digital challenges his business faces. After a quick chat with one of our specialists, his new entertainment system is working seamlessly, and Damien can focus on running his kitchen without losing another minute on technology. Our experts are standing by, ready to fix the settings of his hardware and software. So, if he encounters another issue, we'll get it sorted. That's not all. As well as sorting any reactive technical issues, our new digital help desk can proactively help Damien's business grow by bolstering his online presence. Our social media gurus can guide him in creating his social media presence, making his business visible on the most relevant social media and business platforms. Now, Damien's restaurant can now be found online, so customers can browse his new menu, leave reviews, and make reservations by WhatsApp. His restaurant runs like clockwork, enabled by hassle-free technology, as well as entertainment for his customers. Plus, he no longer worries about empty tables. His business is thriving. If you're ready to level up your business and get online with our smart solutions, Flow Business is here to help. Run your business seamlessly, sort technical issues quickly, and get expert help to promote your business online with the new 24/7 digital help desk from Flow Business, the partner your business needs to come back stronger.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a one-of-a-kind service I do not believe I have seen or heard about in the region. And this is something that we have similar things accessible to us in other countries, but within the region, don't think so. So Sam, walk us through, what was the thinking behind putting together the digital help desk and it to be like this Swiss Army knife for business owners?
Yeah, and that was a mouthful, right? And I have a very short attention span. So, for those that couldn't stick through that, I'm going to break it down in very simple terms, right? Most small businesses, whether you're, a small shop, a one-man company, or a 10-person company, you probably don't have an IT guy, right? The owner or the manager is doing it all, right? They're wearing the sales hat, the marketing hat. They're trying to do everything at the same time.
Right.
So it all started from that perspective where it's, okay, we know small businesses don't have that IT expert all the time. You're calling your uncle, calling your cousin, calling somebody that works at Flow to help you. So we started this whole product to say, you know what, if there is something that we can help you with from a hardware perspective or a software perspective. So let's just say, for example, you get a blue screen on your computer, right, or you need to install some new software that you have, or you need to connect your computer to the printer, but you just don't know what to do, where to go on your computer, and it's complex. I mean, I don't even know how to do that.
Right.
And it's funny because my dad still calls me for things like that. I'm like, I don't even know. So that's where it started, is to say, you know what, there's somebody that can help you with those things, right? And most of them are pretty standard things that, if you're an IT guy, Right. And, that person is, again, 24/7. You can reach out to them by chat, which is very convenient. They can take over your screen if it happens to be something they can do remotely. They can talk to you on the phone and kind of walk you through what you need to do. Connect this cable here, unplug there, reset there, right? And most times you just need to unplug it and plug it in after a minute.
Right.
But that's really how it started. And then we kind of evolved it a little bit, and it's going to continue to evolve again, right? We're a new brand and we're growing just like most small businesses are. And it's going to go above and beyond. It's to say, hey, how can we help them now with their social media presence?
Yes,
Right?
because we
So
see
think
you touch.
about,
Go ahead. We see you touch on that. So go ahead. Let us know.
yeah, no, I mean, if you think about just basic things like Google for business, right? Like most times if I want to go grab a bite, so if I'm in Barbados for work, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, where can I go eat? I'll probably go to Google. And if your business is there and your information is not up to date, it's kind of unreliable, right? So at
Right.
least things like your basic phone number, your hours of operation, your website link, your address, that is basic and that's free.
Yeah.
And most people don't do that, right? So having that person is there for that. But even goes above and beyond, and we're going to evolve, right? So more into the social space, helping you set up your whichever social media is right for you will guide you. I mean, we're not at the point now where we're calling ourselves digital social media marketing experts, but we're going to get you, again, start small. That's what we're trying to get you to do. And we're going to evolve and grow. And we have solutions that are a bit more advanced. But for this one, it's, again, IT related, either hardware or software, and basic social media, getting your business online.
That's perfect. Are you guys creating posts for people as well, or helping or guiding people with like, let's just say, my mom harasses me about Canva. She's helping her friend with a food menu, and she's usually bringing out my phone. How do I do this in Canva? Are you guys helping with creating content on Canva as well? Like, what are some things you
Not
guys do?
not right now. Not right now. I think
Uh,
we're trying to really focus on some basic core things
Right,
and doing them right. We don't want to promise the world. I'll be honest. Some of that stuff can get very technical, very quick, and really requires some level of expertise.
right.
And that's where I think we need to bring the combination of, hey, we're going to get you in the door, we're going to bring the horse to water, and then it's really up to you. And there are so many tools, so many opportunities that you need to identify what is it that you want to focus on. Now, that's not to say we're not going there. We
Yeah.
are going to go there, right? But at this point in time, I don't want to overpromise or promise the world when
Right.
we're not. I'm going to be very, very kind of candid on what we'll do and what we'll not do.
No worries, no worries. So Sam, I know we've hit the 1 hour mark and I have you just for a little bit more, but I did not want to, wrap this conversation up and get into the Q&A before we run. Now we have 2 customers that you guys have had a really good experience and have helped their businesses out tremendously. And we've been able to get their testimonials. So I want to run the Mr. Carmichael out of Barbados' testimonial, so people can get an idea, firsthand experience as to how Flow Business has helped a small business owner, and you guys get that live experience. All right. So Sam, let us run the Ace Aquatics testimonial.
Hi, my name is Jason Carmichael, and I'm the team leader of Ace Aquatics. Ace Aquatics is the leading aquarium and pond installation and maintenance company in Barbados. And we also have a retail segment, the pet store here in Black Rock, where we can set you up with everything that you need for your aquarium and pond and give you first-class advice to go with it. What can Flow Business do to support business owners like myself, especially in terms of connectivity? You don't get do-overs during the pandemic. That's actually become my mantra. All the times have to line up, all the ducks have to be in a row. So you need to have the internet working at all times. You need to be able to get hold of your guys when you need to be able to get hold of them, and they need to be able to get hold of you if there's, God forbid, an emergency. It has to be able to be addressed there and then. It has to be precise.
Lovely. I love the work that you guys did with Ace Aquatics. So what are some of the things, just touch on before we dive into the next video, but what are some of the things that you guys are able to do with Mr. Carmichael?
He was, he's amazing. He was open. He, had an open mind when he approached things, right? He's also somebody that didn't have many digital solutions to run his business.
Right.
So when we worked with him, one of the products that he had was this e-marketing pro solution, right? So you were asking me earlier, do we help people create, Canva posts and so on? No, but we do have a product that helps, create email campaigns, right, with certain templates and things like that you can send emails to your customers with, promotions or informational about your products and your brand and so on and so forth.
Right.
So, he's been super open-minded, very hands-on, and that's exactly what you need to do. And he's hungry to learn, right? So,
Right.
He reaches out frequently and saying, hey, does this look good, or is this the way that I need to do it, right? So,
Right.
so that's been really good from that perspective.
Love
And it's
it.
great to hear that feedback. I mean, it's great. Like, even, he was just very natural when he was talking, and I was like, man, you get it. He gets it.
You made the impact. You guys made the impact.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, but he gets it, and he's willing to kind of learn, right? Like, this e-marketing solution is, I'll just give an example.
Yeah.
That tool can be a benefit or a major disadvantage to you, right? Because if you are spamming your customers and say, oh, you know what? Now I have an email campaign tool. I'm going to blast my customers every single day with content. Man, you're going to drive them crazy, and they're probably going to hate you. So it can actually backfire on you, right? So, he's the type of guy that is willing to learn and try to understand, hey, what are the best practices? What do I need to do, right? But that goes back to my earlier point. It's, you have this Ferrari, and you just need to know how to drive it.
Agreed. And we have another video where we're going to show you guys, how Flow Business has been able to work with a barbershop. So let's cue that up, Sam.
Lo que está si nós de Mustache Barbershop diferente é que os clientes não podem entrar na Asprak, o nosso barbeiro preferido, via nosso website. No momento que o cliente traz cita, o sistema mesmo notifica o barbeiro de aqui e manda recordatório 30 minutos para uma cita para o cliente. Como empresa chiqui, nós subimos produtividade e a vida mais acessível, fazendo uso de telecomunicação. PCI, nós de Mustache Barbershop, escolhe Flow Business como nosso aliado.
So is that an appointment system that you guys have too?
No, that's not an appointment system. Not yet. But he's just talking about how he's using the combination of the products so that customers can get in touch with him and contact him, kind of when he's in or out of the office, right? I think it's more that analogy piece, right? And that's the importance of doing our core products right. That's another key element of it, is like, for broadband, for internet and mobile, and business voice, if you get those products right and they can work together, then you can be anywhere, right? You can be at the bank, you can be wherever, having lunch with your son or daughter and not be offline, right? I mean, you can continue to work. So that's really the whole analogy there.
Most important. So at this time, folks, if you guys have any questions that you guys want to ask, feel free to jump into the chat. I want you guys to drop your questions into the chat. You can also give us a call if you would like to call us in and talk to us directly and drop your questions into the chat. Feel free to give us a call. The number is on the screen, 868-737-4358. And you guys can either call us directly or you can call us on WhatsApp and we will take your question live. So that number again is 737-4358. You can call us directly or you can call us through WhatsApp and we will answer your question live. And if you're too shy to give us a call and talk to us live, then drop your question into the chat. We would love to hear from you. We covered a lot tonight. And again, all of the solutions talked about is to help businesses across the Caribbean go digital, build their presence, start to generate leads, generate sales. And most importantly, I think it's really about, getting you guys used to utilizing a lot of the new technology that is coming out. Sam, while we wait for people to drop their questions either into the chat or give us a call, I know there's another solution that we didn't really touch on too much, but you guys offer, I believe you guys offer professional emails as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, one major thing is you got to look professional. If you have a business, you can't be walking around with a Gmail, right? So, it's just not professional. I'm sorry. Like recently, I was working with a contractor, and he was telling me about his beautiful proposal and how professional he was, and I'm like, wow. And then he sent me his email, and it was like GC Contracting. I'm using a fake name at
Right.
gmail.com. I said, really? I mean, it's not hard, and it's very affordable to get a professional email. That's basic, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't think it goes beyond that. It's just you got to look professional. It's a must-have, and it doesn't. The cost is just it's just not worth even thinking about.
Yes, correct. And I mean, again, these are for Caribbean businesses. They've never needed to have necessarily professional email addresses. So like these things are new. Like I remember I was can't remember exactly where it was, but this company, this business they had their banner outside their shop. And I kid you not, the name of their shop was there, the telephone number was there, the address, but the email address, man, I seen Hotmail. I was
That's even one step behind Gmail.
I was like, wow.
No
I
disrespect to Gmail is it's amazing, but when you're a business, you got to look professional.
Yeah, no. When I seen the Hotmail, I was like, this business has to have been around a very long time because to have a Hotmail, not even a Live or an Outlook, but a Hotmail, you've been around for quite some time. So again, folks, we're just putting out a call for you guys. If you guys have any questions about any of the services, e-commerce, flow business, what are some of the things that are going to be doing, anything that we talked about tonight, drop your questions into the chat. You guys can even give us a phone call, 868-737-4358. I told Sam, hey, 60 minutes, and I have him here 10 minutes longer, so we'll keep the line open for an extra 1 or 2 minutes. And we do have a phone call coming in. Caller, good night. You're live on Digipreneur Live. How are you doing tonight?
Good night.
Good night. How you doing, Sam? Are you hearing him clearly?
I'm good.
I'm hearing clearly.
I am good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. How are you doing tonight?
Right. So the name is Shaquille. The name is Shaquille Woodsley, right? I joined in a bit late. I came from a meeting there, right?
No worries.
Now I don't have my own business just yet, but I wanted to know if when I started, how much would it cost for the services of flow business?
Good question. So, it depends, where you are, and it depends which products you're speaking of, right? We have, obviously our flow business core services like broadband, and depending which broadband speed you need, there's a different price. But if you're speaking about the smart solutions, it depends again which of these products you want, right? So it really depends, and we have bundles. So if you buy more than one, they come at a discounted price. So I would say in general, just to put things in context, a website product, for example, with the email as well as the help desk, could be as low as $20 a month, right? Again, it depends on which market you're in. It depends how you're buying the solutions. Whether it's with a bundle or alone, but the price will vary. But again, very affordable. You're talking between $10 to $25, $10 to $30, depending on which products.
$10 to $35, you said there?
I'm speaking in US dollars, and again, right, it's very dependent on
which
you buy and how you buy.
And that'll be a monthly payment.
That would be a monthly payment, yes.
Okay, cool. That's actually pretty good.
What I would suggest is in Trinidad, I see that I think you posted on Trinidad. we have
Yeah,
our
from Trinidad.
packages, yeah, we have our packages on our website. So
Mm-hmm.
flowbusiness.co. You can go and see, how these products come together with broadband and our fixed voice, and you can kind of see what the prices are. So you can kind of explore that way, and
Yeah.
that'll give you a sense of it, right?
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot, right?
Anytime, man. Thanks for calling. I
And
appreciate
and
it.
I and I will check it out. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you for
You
the
too.
call. Wonderful. That again, folks, if you guys want to call in, the number is 868-737-4358. You can call direct or you can call on WhatsApp. Or again, if you are a little too shy to call in, then drop your questions into the chat. And while we wait for the next question or caller to come in, Sam, let's just take a look at the website. So let me know what's some of the information that we can get on the website.
Yeah, if you maybe go to Trinidad, you can get a view of some of the products, right? So, here you'll see in Trinidad, we have a campaign where for some of our products, like, I mentioned here, the website, online store, the help desk, and cloud storage, we have some promotions that provide that for free for a year, when you purchase some other solutions. But this really gives you a little bit of an overview, everything we spoke about today, what the products are, how they work, and really just kind of what we stand for. And if you scroll up, I think we have a view of the packages. We're going through a refresh a bit of our solutions, but if you click at the top, you'll see some of the packages that we offer. And I believe the price is there as well. And this is in TT dollars. And bear with us. We have some new, kind of end of the year promotions coming into place. But for example, if we look at the advanced, right, the advanced package gives you, 300 download speed, 30 upload speed, which is really, really good for a small business. For, if you want to do video calls, if you want to upload video files or download files, it's actually the right speed. It gives you a landline with unlimited local calls. It gives you those three products we spoke about. So the help desk, the website and online store, and the business email pro. And those, you'll see what the price is there. So that's an example of this package. But then if you look on the left or the right, you have different elements. You can also buy these solutions a la carte with your broadband. Those prices are not on the website, so that's why it was a tricky question. It just really depends on how you're buying them, right? But I don't have the price for, let's say, the website right off the top of my head on its own, but it's somewhere around the $15 US range per month.
No, that's good, man. That's good. And I'll throw the number up one more time. So again, we're gonna keep Sam for like another minute or so. So if you want to call in, 868-737-4358, or you could drop your question in. This isn't a question, but this is definitely a funny statement. Sam did not come for the people's Gmail.
Like I said, no offense to Gmail, but just you're a business, you can look professional. Little things.
Perfect. Sam, as we wrap up tonight's session, give us some closing words, some words of inspiration for Caribbean businesses. Talk to us. The floor is yours. Give us some closing remarks.
First of all, thanks for inviting me. It's great to be a part of your show, be a part of your movement. Your energy is amazing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think from my perspective, we're doubling down on small businesses. It's an area that most telcos don't play in. There's about 200,000 small businesses across the region. They represent the most number of businesses in the region, and they're not going anywhere. I know COVID may have impacted some are closing down for good, but we know that they will come back. And, there's a general shift in the region, in our markets, on being an entrepreneur, right? So that mindset is there. Right. And, it's a cultural movement, and this is just going to generate a lot more opportunities, right? So we're doubling down there. And, coming out of the pandemic, once things start to settle, with vaccines and so on, there's so much pent up demand from tourists, and they're going to be flooding our markets, right? And when they come, you want to make sure that you're there to inform them and guide them as a business in a convenient way for them, right?
Correct.
And, I think taking your business online is not a choice. It's not a choice anymore. You need to, expand, kind of your channels. And, like I said, I think, think big, start small. It's overwhelming, but, start small, learn from that, continue to build on it. And if you do just even 15 minutes a day, in 1 month, you'll be a lot further than if you didn't. So don't look at this as I need to move a mountain. Just start very, very small, and you can do this. And don't delay either. Get ahead of the curve, because people are getting ahead, right?
Correct.
So those would be my closing words, man.
Perfect. Now, I know you are open to a lot of feedback. If somebody wants to reach out for you for a question or provide some feedback, I know you're open for it. What's the best way to reach you, Sam?
So you can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to share my email as well. So I don't know, like maybe post meeting if that works, or how best to share it. But, very open to feedback. I want to hear from people. I want to hear what's working. I want to hear what we can do better. I want to hear what's not working for you. Like I said, we don't have all the answers, and, there's a lot for you. So, again, reach out. I have a great team. We're committed to making this, successful. So, I would say those would be the best ways of reaching out.
Perfect. So if you guys are on LinkedIn, definitely reach out to Sam. Again, always open to feedback. And feedback is how this thing is going to grow. And it's great that Flow Business has decided to tackle this mountain of a problem. So the more feedback you guys can give Sam about, ideas, what's working, what's not working, this is how this product and service is going to grow and ultimately help our region. So, Sam, I just want to thank you, and give you a warm round of applause for joining us here tonight and spending even more time than the 60 minutes. But I thank you for joining us tonight.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for everyone who joined.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, folks, that is it from the live session for tonight. We spoke about a wide variety of things. And again, Flow Business is not here just to provide you internet. They are here to provide you a wide range of services to help take your businesses digital. And beyond the actual services, there's going to be a lot of education going onto their platforms. So you guys want to go ahead and follow Flow Business on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. There's going to be tons of workshops, tons of content coming your way, and all focused about helping Caribbean businesses grow online. If you guys have any questions for me, you guys can reach out to me on any one of my social media platforms. Karen Rose everywhere. And again, you guys can Google me. I'm Googleable, and you guys can reach out. And most importantly, if you have questions for Sam, best place, holler at him on LinkedIn, or reach out to the Flow Business team on any one of the social media platforms. That is it from me today. I am done. I am all spoken out. The replay is going to be available immediately. So if you guys missed anything or need to go back, jump on YouTube, jump on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, and you guys will be able to listen to the replay or watch the replay and go through anything that we would have covered, all right? I will see you guys in the next live episode. You guys have a wonderful night. Drop some flames in the chat if you enjoyed this session. Send me off nice. Drop some flames in the chat. I'll see you guys on the other side. Take care.
You've been listening to the Digiboss, Karan Rose. We hope your notepad was filled after this episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. The learning doesn't stop, folks. And to make sure you don't miss any gems from the Digiboss, go over and follow him on all social media platforms at Karan Rose. Folks, don't just sit there with a notepad. We need you to implement at least one thing into your business before the next episode. That's the only way your business levels up. Thanks for listening to Digipreneur FM. Now go be great.